probably only sell a house maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times in a lifetime. You really don't do it that often. And that means that you may not even know what to look for or what to expect in the process. In this video, I'm gonna go through 11 things that I think are absolutely essential when selling a home so that you can make the right decisions when it comes time to sell your home. Hi, my name's Allesen. I'm a real estate agent here in beautiful San Diego, California. I believe that since your home is likely your biggest investment, it deserves all of the respect that that type of thing should warrant. And because of that, I wanted to make this video to make sure that you understand exactly what happens when you sell your house and what you need to look for to make sure that the sale is a success. All right, our first one is not all real estate agents are the same. Sounds self-serving for me, but it's not, because whether you decide you want to use me to sell your home or you use somebody else, whatever you do, this is absolutely the most important thing to understand. Just because you meet a real estate agent and they're like, yeah, I can help you sell your home, make sure you understand what their background is, how much experience they have, what kind of tools do they use. There are so many agents out there, especially in San Diego, who are part-time agents. They got their license so they could sell their house and maybe help some friends along the way. That doesn't mean they actually know what they're doing, because they're not doing this all day, every day. I firmly believe you need to work with a full-time real estate agent. Think about anything you've tried to learn in your lifetime or anything you've tried to do. Have you tried pickleball? Did you get good the first time you tried? No. Did you go surfing? Were you good after the first time you went out? No. Have you tried roller skating? Let me tell you, I promise you it's not the first time that's gonna make you great at roller skating. Just like anything else, you have to do it over and over and over and over to be good at it, which is why talking to your real estate agent and understanding how many transactions they and their team do each year is super important. For example, I'm on a team that does around 400 transactions per year. Because of that, every single transaction, we learn something and we can improve and make things better because we're all sharing all that information. So it's super important to understand that and to find somebody who knows what they're doing. The second most important thing is something that really only the best agents understand, and that is the absolute importance of pricing your home correctly. There are 3 ways to price a home. The first one is what most sellers want to do, which is price it really, really high, and maybe we'll find that one person who's willing to pay for it and doesn't need to get a loan and is just gonna throw a bunch of cash at you. The chances of that happening is very, very slim. Your house is going to sit on the market for a very long time, and chances are you will have to do some price reductions, and ultimately you may end up selling your home for less than you could have sold it if you had priced it properly to begin with. I know. Aren't I supposed to price it a little high so that I have negotiating room with the buyer? It's not really the best idea. And here's why. The second one is trying to price it at market value. So this is what most agents do and what most sellers like to do. They try to figure out what's the market value of that home. Now, this can be easier or harder depending on the property. If it's surrounded by a lot of houses that look exactly the same way, gonna be a lot easier. If it's like in North Park or something where no 2 houses are even remotely the same, it can be harder. But the goal is to figure out, what is the market likely thinking about the value of this home? If you can figure that out, chances are the home's going to sell relatively quickly, maybe within a month, and you're not gonna have to do price reductions and you'll get an offer. The way that we recommend pricing your home, and the way that can work really, really well in a lot of markets, is to actually price it low. And I know, trust me, this sounds terrifying. It's okay, don't freak out. Let me tell you how this works. What you do is you price it low so that your home looks like the best deal in the entire neighborhood. And guess what that does? All of the buyers who have been looking in your neighborhood and who are just like watching the market, they're all going to show up and see your house. And they are all going to be like, oh my God, this is such a great deal. I have to get this house. Well, and then there's going to be so many people offering on your house that they're going to start bidding it up. And likely you will actually get a better price that way than if you had tried to price it at market value, or definitely if you had priced it high to begin with. Because people get wrapped up in that auction mentality, and sometimes they end up paying more than they might have had they actually not been wrapped up in that like excitement about the auction, right? This is why bidding wars are so powerful in the real estate market. In 2020, 2021, that was happening without us even trying. The market was going up so fast that even if we tried to price it correctly at market value, by the time that house was selling, we were wrong. We were already behind the curve, and that's why we were having bidding wars. And then as the market's been slowing down, or last year in 2022 when things actually went down, this was an amazing strategy because we didn't know what the market was gonna do. Was it gonna keep going down? Was it gonna stop? Whatever. If we priced it low and made that house look amazing, you would sell it high, you would sell it fast. So super duper important, do not overprice. Do not try and do that. You're going to screw yourself over, I promise you. But regardless, the way that you price your house, your agent does not control that price. The market does. Whatever pricing your agent discusses with you should have a strategy behind it, okay? So they should be able to tell you, this is the range, this is why I'm saying this range, and this is where I recommend to actually price it on this range. And the final decision about where that pricing should happen probably shouldn't happen until literally right before you put it on the market. Because if you are first talking to them a month at a time and you decide on a price, that price may no longer be the right price by the time your home gets on the market. So understand that. Just because you pick one price doesn't mean you're stuck with that price. But make sure you understand what's going on in the market at that given time. The third most important thing that you can do when you're selling your home is, please, for the love of God, professional pictures. There are so many agents, especially in California, who, again, they're getting their real estate license to make some easy money. First of all, this is not easy. This is one of the most important things you will ever do in your lifetime because it has the most money wrapped up in it. So you want somebody who gets that and who is going to treat the entire process as one of the most important things you're ever going to do. And that includes professional fucking pictures. Okay? If you see an agent taking pictures with their cell phone, and those are the pictures that are gonna go on the MLS, you fire them immediately, okay? It doesn't cost that much. It's a couple $100s to get really good pictures done. And I promise you, even as an agent, if I see properties with crappy pictures, I will skip over them. I will not recommend them to my buyer unless they absolutely, or there's nothing else in the area and that house might actually be the right one, but I can't tell because the pictures are crappy. Don't do that. Set yourself up for success. Set your home up in its best light. Get professional pictures. The number 4 most important thing to do when selling your home is staging. Now, I think when people hear staging, they think, oh, all my furniture has to go and we're gonna bring in a bunch of rented furniture. That's not necessarily true. I like to bring in a stager if you're living in the home and it's not gonna be vacant when you sell it. Bring in a stager and they can actually help you edit what you already have. Do you need to paint? Is there a piece of furniture that maybe you should put that in storage and rent a different piece that would be better? Can you cover something up so that it looks a little better? Can you just rearrange things so that they make more sense? Maybe it's just editing the little knickknacks and stuff and putting that away since you're going to move anyway. Put it in storage until it's time to move. That way things look less cluttered. The entire goal of staging is to make the home as simple as possible so that the buyers can picture themselves in the home. The more personalized the home is, the more special colors or special furnishings or pictures or anything like that that the home has, the less likely the buyer will be able to picture themselves in the home. So your goal is you are marketing your home for sale. And that means make it look the best to the most people possible. And that means you need to let go of your personal feelings about how you want it decorated and think about what would just anybody off the street want to see so that they could picture themselves there. That's the entire point of staging. Within staging, it also means cleaning. So super simple, but if there's cobwebs, clean those off. If you have a super dirty fan, clean that off. Fresh paint can do wonders. Clean the kitchen, clean the appliances. When people walk in and see things that are dirty, they wonder what else hasn't been maintained. You don't want them thinking about that. The fifth most important thing to do when you are selling your home is to think about curb appeal. This is likely the first picture in the MLS or on Zillow or whatever is the front of your house. It's also the first thing people see when they drive up. And while the agent is getting the key out of the lockbox, it's the first thing that they are scrutinizing. So they're standing there and they're looking and there's cobwebs and wow, the siding is really dirty and God, this grass looks like crap. Clean all that up. It's a first impression. You want them to think that this house has been really beautifully maintained. It's gorgeous and I can't wait to get inside. Yes, every now and then an ugly house on the outside surprises me and it's gorgeous inside, but usually not. Usually they're pretty well tied. So you want to show them this is what you have to look forward to. Think about if it looks this good outside, what's gonna look like inside? So the things I recommend doing is pressure wash your house. Get the dirt off. I promise you, even if you can't tell there's a layer of dirt, there's a layer of dirt. Clean the windows inside and out. This actually helps with staging inside as well because way more light will come through and people want their homes to be light and bright and airy. So get the dirt off the windows, get that light inside. Freshen up the landscaping, put some new mulch down, put maybe some new plants in with some pretty flowers, get some color out there. Do those simple things and it will make a massive difference. The sixth thing is something that a lot of people don't think about and they don't think it's that important, and that is the property description. I had a client once who told me that that was the first thing they did. They didn't even look at the pictures, they read the property description, and if the property description didn't capture their attention, they moved on and never even looked at the pictures, right? Like that sounds crazy, but there are people out there like that. It's also a really, really powerful way to fill in gaps. There are certain things that a lot of people are looking for. For example, a bedroom on the main floor, whether that's the master or not, a lot of people have family who will come stay with them. Their family is likely older, it's parents. They need a bedroom on the ground floor. The MLS may not show that really well. So if you put that in the description, people are like, oh my gosh, I have to see this house. It actually has what I'm looking for. Similarly for things like, are there stairs in the home? This is a place where 55 and over people might be looking. They may not want stairs. So if it's not obvious if there are stairs or not, write that. If you're in an apartment complex and it takes stairs to get up to the unit or down to the unit or to the parking or whatever, maybe write that. That can be super helpful. Where is the parking? If you're in a condo, is it covered parking? Is it not covered parking? Do you have a garage? Do you have not? Is it attached? Is it not? Like, explain some of these things that aren't always super obvious in the pictures. The description's the best way to do that, and it's super duper powerful to do that. Explain the things you love about the home. Why did you buy it? What do you love about the area? Are there special events that you find like absolutely amazing? Can you drive to something really easily that's just a huge part of your life and you are really grateful to be near it? Explain all that in the description. This is the best place to do that. All right, the number 7 thing on my list is to hide your valuables. So especially if you're gonna do an open house, but really regardless, if you have jewelry, hide it. Don't leave it out in a jewelry box. If you have firearms, make sure that they are locked away somewhere and are not easy to get to. If you have prescription drugs, do not leave them in the medicine cabinet. Put them somewhere where people can't get to them. I know this sounds ridiculous and I know it's just sad, but people will steal them. And the last thing you want is somebody stealing your gun and then going and killing somebody, or taking your drugs and now you don't have them when you need them, or whatever. Taking your, grandma's brooch that was the most sentimental thing you had. Like, make sure that you protect all those little things. Even if you have other little knickknacks that are easy to pocket or stuff in a purse, maybe consider putting them away. Maybe consider putting those in storage so that people don't have access to them. It is sad, and most of the time when a home is being shown, the agent will be with them and that's a deterrent for them. But, we just can't always be watching every little thing, and especially if it's an open house. People do it. I've had it happen to clients. It broke my heart. Don't let it happen to you. The 8th thing on my list is don't stress about lowball offers. You are going to get offers that are lowball, especially if your home has been sitting for any length of time. People start thinking they can offer whatever the heck they want. Don't take it personally. It just means that that person's trying to get a deal and they figured they might as well try because you never know. Maybe it'll work. But it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't even necessarily mean anything about the house. Just know that an offer is exactly that. It's an offer, and now you can reply or not. If it's super offensive, don't even reply, that's fine. But it could be worth it to just reply and be like, no, I really mean list price. Like, I'm not going below it, that's it. Or, okay, come off a little off of list price, but here's where I really want to be. It's okay to do that because you never ever know. Like, I have seen times where a lowball offer has come in like super low. The seller has actually countered back and been like, no, I'll come down a little, but I'm not doing that. That's just crazy. And the buyer's been like, okay, they were just trying. They just wanted to see what would happen. It's okay. Don't take it personally. Just go with it. The ninth, how many fingers do I have? 9, is to not take the repair request personally. A lot of homeowners getting really offended by the inspection report and the repair request, and there's really nothing to get offended by. The inspector is going to come in, and his entire job, his entire purpose in life is to find everything that's wrong. He's literally looking for nothing but what's wrong. He's not telling the buyer what's right. He's telling the buyer what's wrong. So even if you don't think anything's wrong, he's gonna find stuff. I promise you. You're gonna get a inspection report that high, it's gonna have 300 things on it. And even if it's a brand new construction house, it could have that many things on it. So don't take it personally. This is just what happens. Now, the buyer's going to ask for the things that bother them the most, or they're the most concerned about, or whatever. Especially if they're a first-time home buyer, or they just haven't done this in a while, or they may ask for some things that you think are ridiculous, and that's okay. You don't have to repair them. In California, all homes are sold as is. So that means that you can be like, nope, not gonna do it. Yeah, I'll do this one, but I'm not doing that. That's stupid. Some of the things, hopefully the buyer's agent is helping control the buyer on some of the things, because there's some things that sound super scary, like GFCI, like, ooh, the outlet's not grounded or whatever. These things are like really, really inexpensive to fix. Oh, the hot water heater isn't braced. That's like a $3 part. But some of these things sound scary, and yet they're actually super simple, but a lot of people don't know that. So it's okay to push back and say no. Now, if there's mold in your attic, or there's, I don't know, the leak in the roof, or something, a sink's leaking or something like that, chances are you're probably gonna wanna fix that, because if this buyer doesn't work out, the next buyer's probably gonna have the same problem with it, because those are things that are health and safety related. They're a concern. If the sink is leaking, God only knows what's now growing under that sink. You wanna get it fixed ASAP. So just understand that, don't take it personally, don't stress about it. It's a negotiation, but you are not required to do anything. Now, if it's a super strong buyer's market, you may have to do a little more than if it's a seller's market, but just don't stress. It's a negotiation, it's okay. You'll figure it out. We can come to an agreement. The buyers sometimes just ask for a bunch of crap, and they don't actually even necessarily need it. They're just asking to see what they can get. So again, just chill. It's all good. Work with your agent. It's their job to stay neutral and just negotiate. That way you can, stay as neutral as possible as well. All right, the 10th thing. Yes, you can stay in your home after closing, so don't stress necessarily about the timeline too much. If you don't know where to go, or if you're like, oh my God, that's gonna be a really fast closing, I'm gonna need more time to actually pack and move and whatever, you can actually do what's called negotiating a rent back, where you actually get to stay in your home, and you basically just pay by the day that you're gonna stay there. Or if it's a super strong seller's market, you might even get to stay for free, because the buyer might be trying to use that as an incentive for you to give them the house. So understand that there are ways that the deal can be structured so that you have extra time. You can also have like different lengths of escrow. So you could have something really fast, or you could have longer. So if you need a little extra time, you can always negotiate a longer escrow. There are things to do, so don't stress. There are ways to work around most timing issues. And finally, the last one is everything is negotiable. So just understand that you might get some crazy things that the buyer asks for. I've seen buyers ask for furniture and the homeowner got really offended because that was like heirloom furniture. It's okay. They're just asking. Doesn't mean you have to give it to them. It's not, you don't have to do anything, but they're just asking, because I would take it as a compliment, because they love it. They think that you have a great taste, and they're hoping that it can stay because it looks great in the house. But that doesn't mean you have to leave it. Everything's negotiable. You love your refrigerator, you love your washer and dryer, take them with you. It's okay. I'd say 50% of homes come with them, 50% don't. That's fine. You don't want to take them? Leave them. The buyer will be thrilled to not have to buy new ones. So again, if somebody asks for something that you don't want to give, that's okay, just say no. Chances are it's not a deal breaker. They're just trying to see what happens. It's okay, everything's negotiable. If there's something crazy you would like to ask the buyer if they'll do, like give you even more extra time, or I don't know, something, try it. Never know what's gonna happen. Anything's possible. So don't stress about it, everything's negotiable. And I hope this list was helpful. Please comment below, let me know, did I miss something? Is there something that you've had happen when you were selling a house that you think was a good learning experience and you'd like to pass that on? Comment below, let me know, I'd love to hear it. If this was at all helpful, please give it a thumbs up so that other people can find it, and don't forget to click the little bell and subscribe so that you get notified when I put out new content.